Yo, what is up guys? Delboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are well. So, as we all heard, leading up to the Terence Crawford versus Kavaliauskas fight, and even a couple of days after, we was teased the possibility of Terence Crawford versus Shawn Porter. An excellent fight that most boxing fans would love to see. Well, Terence Crawford has come out and distanced himself from that fight, and I expected this, I have to say. I said it after the Kavaliauskas fight. Terence Crawford would not fight Shawn Porter next. It's not going to happen. So I'm not really surprised at this outcome. I think Stevie Wonder could have seen this coming. Terence Crawford never had any intention on fighting Shawn Porter. I just think he name dropped it just to really get some interest in his fight, if I'm being honest. And it's time to call Terence Crawford out on this. You know, he's been the guy complaining about the PBC guys, isolating themselves on that network. Now, here we have Shawn Porter, a guy who's willing to fight, and according to Boxing Insiders, Al Heyman would give Shawn Porter his blessing to take that fight, and here we have Terence Crawford turn it down. He says it's a fight he's not really interested in. I'd like to know why, to be honest. Terence Crawford said the following: "That's not a fight I'm focused on right now, or even worried about. I'm focused on other things right now. If we had to fight, and if it made sense, then that would be a fight that we would both agree upon. But right now, I feel like that's not something we should discuss right now, because there's nothing on the table for me." Those are the words of Terence Crawford when he was speaking to DAZN. Extremely disappointing, but I'm not surprised. I think Terence Crawford has been selling wolf tickets at welterweight for a little while now, along with his promoter Bob Arum. I really do. And for them to say Shawn Porter brings nothing to the table, that's an absolute embarrassment. Yes, he's coming off a loss to Errol Spence Jr., fair enough, but that was a tremendous fight, and people out there believe he won, but it was very competitive against a world-class welterweight, and he proved in that fight that he was still a world-level fighter. He's still a top 5, top 6 welterweight in the world right now, Shawn Porter. Just because you're coming off a loss doesn't mean you're not a credible opponent. We need to really shift from that line of thinking. I would agree with Crawford if Porter got blown out in a few rounds or he got completely dominated. That's not what happened. He was competitive against a world-class welterweight, maybe the best welterweight. So Shawn Porter absolutely is a viable option, and he absolutely would make a great fight against Terence Crawford. And like I say, for him to say there's nothing on the table for him, it's an absolute embarrassment. What did Jose Benavidez bring to the table, apart from a bum leg and a bullet in his hand? What did he bring to the table? What did Amir Khan bring to the table? Absolutely nothing. It's not like Terence Crawford is pulling up trees at welterweight. Look at his resume at welterweight. He beat a weak champion in Jeff Horn, and his title defences since then have been lacklustre. The Kavaliauskas fight, fair enough, it was a mandatory, so I don't really blame him for taking that fight. But regardless, the level of competition at welterweight has been pretty poor, and Shawn Porter would 100% be the best welterweight Terence Crawford's ever fought. Now, scratch that, rewind. Shawn Porter would be the best fighter Terence Crawford's ever fought. So for him to say he brings nothing to the table, absolute nonsense. Crawford's resume is extremely average, and the likes of a Shawn Porter would improve it a lot. A lot. So for you guys out there saying Terence Crawford wants all that smoke, he wants to fight everybody, it's absolute nonsense. This guy and Bob Arum have been selling wolf tickets for a minute now. As far as Crawford goes, I think he's very content in his comfort zone at Top Rank, where he can use the excuse that none of these guys want to fight him and they're freezing him out. But in reality, he's happy in his comfort zone, fighting subpar competition and getting paid well. He's happy the way things are going right now. He is. If he wasn't, he would fight Shawn Porter at a heartbeat. He would. Shawn Porter, like I say, would be the best fighter on Terence Crawford's resume, coming off a loss or not. But Terence Crawford, he gets his diva act on, he puts on his Beyonce flex, and he says that Shawn Porter doesn't bring enough to the table. Absolutely embarrassing. I don't want to hear people cry Terence Crawford a river from now on. I really don't. Like I said, in my opinion, he's happy in his comfort zone, and if he really wanted to make a change and he really wanted to get those names, he would be pushing this fight hard. But he's not. He's happy in his comfort zone, picking up easy paydays, and he'll do that for as long as he can. And as for Bob Arum, I think Bob Arum, his end goal would be to cash Terence Crawford out eventually. From his perspective, I guess he doesn't really see Shawn Porter as the guy to cash out against. You know, that's the likes of Errol Spence and people like that. So, there we go. Poor form from Terence Crawford, poor form from Top Rank, but, you know, not many people are talking about it. Terence Crawford seems to get a pass, yet other guys in the division who have better resumes get absolutely slated for this type of behaviour. There we go, that's boxing for you. It is what it is. Share your thoughts below. Peace.